Thank you for putting up with this experiment, you guys. Leslie Dreyer coming up next to speak with Elizabeth. Yeah, you have your hard questions for her?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Miss you.
I had this like really funny idea, especially when the chairs were like turned towards each other. We would just go like Marina Abramovich on everyone and just like sit.
It's an experiment,
I don't know. I would probably just like start sobbing for no apparent reason. But I do actually. I was really welcoming this opportunity because I don't know. I feel like the summer of 2013 was kind of just a pivotal time of year in your practice. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the summer of 2013?
Wow, the summer of 2013 was, devastating. I think a lot of people were starting to realize what was happening with evictions on a greater scale. You couldn't go to a house party without hearing everyone talk about losing their home or having friends lose their home. And I was reading Gentrification of the Mind at that time, which didn't really help things. But there was a chapter in there that was called the Gentrification of Gay Politics, which resonated. At the same time I was reading that chapter, the Pride rescinded the nomination of Chelsea Manning. So it was like, oh, yes, the gentrification of Pride is like the gentrification of San Francisco in every city. So I talked to some friends, Zeph, Fishlin, Aaron, lots of other queer radicals in the city, and asked if they wanted to do something in the Pride Parade. At first we were like, we'll put a giant pink tank in there talking about like homo-nationalism and whatnot. But it ended up being a Google bus, because we were like, the symbol of gentrification in the city that everyone can actually see, that's tangible throughout the Bay, is the Google bus. So yeah, we rented from the same company, and I registered as queer techies for open source technology, and asked to be placed next to the tech contingent so that we would fit right in. And they placed us between Google and Twitter and Dropbox and amongst all of them. It was interesting. So we had a giant banner that said, "Gentrification and Eviction Technologies, get out. Get out with pride, yay." So the first eviction map by Brian Whitty had come out around the same time or a little before. So we blew that up really big and dragged it behind the Google bus.
And you dressed up as little
the Google location marker
pointers.
pins. Yeah, so that was hard because it's like a celebratory event, and then everyone's like, "Oh yay! Oh, that's some serious business." But tons of people, really liked it, and a lot of people visited the site, which had a bunch of information and resources. And that's sort of where it began, with all of us getting back together in December and blocking them. Yeah.
I feel like the work that you do is incredibly demanding, in the sense that, interventions are not simple things, and putting yourself, your work, community members, sort of in public space in these strategic, inconvenient ways, it's hard. And I'm wondering where your fortitude and your passion come from.
Well, it's really hard. It gets harder, too, now that things are just harder. It's like, it's 2016 now, and things are way harder than 2013, so I'm really tired.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do, you know? I got evicted in September, so, yeah, it's... and, there's nowhere else to go if you get kicked out.
Was there a moment, like, I guess maybe if we go, when did it start for you, this kind of activist approach to?
2011, February 2011, I got involved with an anti-austerity movement that popped up, US Uncut, terrible name, but it followed after UK Uncut was like against the budget cuts. So we were doing direct actions, doing flash mobs in banks when flash mobs weren't overtaken by corporations. Yeah, going after Apple and Google for tax dodging, because we lose $100 billion a year from corporate tax dodging. So yeah, we were tying all of the budget cuts in education and healthcare and everything, housing, to this corporate tax dodge. Yes, there's military and all of our, where taxes really go is a problem. So it started with that, a group of strangers organized on the evil Facebook, and 80 people that didn't know each other shut down Bank of America, which was super rad. So that was really inspiring of like, you know, wow, we can just do this. It's easy. So I designed these checks that we use that talked about the $4 billion they were dodging and all of the programs that could be saved. And we just everyone went up and clogged the teller lines and tried to cash their fake check just to stall and effectively shut it down. So then that simple design, I could pass it out to the chapters that were across the U.S., and then people were using it to stall banks and shut them down temporarily in lots of cities, which was great and really easy. And then Occupy came up, I guess, 9 months later or something, and everything sort of bled into that. And I mean, I think it's a space to build community and imagine what's possible when things are so hard. So I try to go about thinking through these things of like, this is where we can come together and imagine our collective power and what we could do and try to get it to catch on so more people do that so we can actually make some big waves. You know? Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm going to take that question you passed on and I'm going to scramble it.
Pass.
Let me see if I can come back to it in this way. So, we had this panel discussion, the Bay Area Society for Activism had a panel discussion, and something that the art critic Ben Davis said really stuck with me, and I feel like it has, like, your perspective is kind of maybe an interesting way to think about it. Ben said the question isn't how art can change the world, right? It's how we change the world to change art. And I'm wondering what you think of that.
Change the world to change art. I just don't know. I mean, my definition of art is just way beyond what is traditional art, I think.
Tell us more.
Oh. Yeah, like simple gestures. This question is just, I feel like this question like takes us away from real poignant things. Because we're like just trying to label everything, and that's where we're not able to like open up our minds, you know. So everything's fit in a box, and it's just all way more complicated than that. Thank you. No, we have a minute left.
Okay. I was just going to hug her for 1 minute. Oh, that's our 1 minute? You have a minute. Well, we are in an art museum.
Yeah, I mean, I want it to open up more than what is, to stop having these fights so much of like, is this art, is it activism? It's everything, you know, it's community, it's art, it's geography, it's investigative journalism, like they all feed each other. And so that's how I just think that the links are so intertwined that,
Are there things you want from the art world?
Yes.
I'll write them down. I'll send a letter.
I want the art world. The art world is way bigger than what is called the art world. I want the art world to get really bold and stand up directly to keep people in their homes. I don't know one art institution that has actually made a statement about evictions or lots of other things. So I'm just wondering when institutions that have all of the backing and everything, and that they will last longer than we will in this town. We'll make a bold move and say they're against evictions and help us stay here.
Yeah.
That's what I want from the art world. And yeah, I think it's possible if more people demand it.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Leslie.
Thank you, Elizabeth.